Hi everyone, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday. And if you're new to the channel, hi and welcome. And this is where we talk about some of the new releases and reissues and represses that came out today, Friday, on vinyl. Some things are trickling in a little late to the party. We're going to try to keep it nice and speedy for you. I just want to showcase a handful of things for you, like a little bit in kind of a lot of different genres. Just hopefully we'll find something for everyone. There is a list posted down below that is pretty good alphabetically that as we're talking about them and the prices, okay? So usually I like to start with a pick of the week or sometimes picks of the week, which is the case this week. I've got two for you. The first one is, okay, my first pick for you, is the great Evie Terre. And this is called Sevens, and it comes to us through the Domino Record Company. Now, Evie Terre is also known as the Animal Collective co-founder. His name's Dave Portner, but he's perhaps best known for his ability to merge seemingly unrelated styles to build this intricate surrealist soundscapes, and a talent which has granted him a lot of critical acclaim over the years. Sevens is an album of outstanding depth, and each track is so densely layered and focusing on just one element. It's like listening to a standalone song. So the surreal landscape is rich with this wah-wah guitars, classical pianos, and mechanical noises. It's at this point you might be thinking it sounds kind of unlistenably pretentious, but it's not the case at all. You'd be mistaken. It's his Portner's ability to actually make this whole structure work. Which is why I think it's such a fantastic pop record. And it is, above everything else, it is a pop record. Now, we have this on vinyl or CD. Okay, now during the first week of January of 2021, Evie Terre began making regular drives to his friend Adam McDaniel's Drop of Sun Studios in Asheville, North Carolina. And anyway, he went to the studio to kind of flesh it out and give color to these like kind of skeletal demos that he had, been producing at home. And so anyway, that's the plot for this. This is Evie Terre's fourth solo album, and it's very intuitive, exploratory. It's collaboration among these two friends after a whole winter without it. And so these songs are like, they're very they have these compulsory hooks that remain at the center of the tracks, and the joy inside these what do you call them? I mean, they're just these pieces. The joy that of them comes through, and his ability is just, it's so charming, and he surrenders to this new intimacy and candor with Sevens. And so try it out. Even if you're not an Animal Collective fan, you should just check this out because it's really quite good. Now, the other one that I wanted to let you in on was this album from Inhaler. Now, this is their second album. It's called Cuts and Bruises. It's on the Geffen label. It's the follow-up to their 2021 debut. That one was called It Won't Always Be Like This. That hit #1 in both the UK and in Ireland. This is an Irish band. They do sound like a couple of other familiar Irish bands. They've got kind of a little bit of a U2 sound going on vocally, which don't let that put you off. But they also kind of have a few things here and there reminiscent of like Fontaine's DC, and just some of the other things. It sounds like a familiar record, even though it's brand new. There's definitely growth from their debut, and that one really had such a time when it first debuted. It went straight into the charts like faster than any artist had in like 13 years. And I'm thinking that they're talking about the European, British, Irish chart there for that. But anyway, this is limited gatefold black and white splatter vinyl that's coming on. It does tell you that on the sticker. And anyway, they've had this relentless touring schedule. Their first Glastonbury set, and shows the support of Arctic Monkeys, Kings of Leon, those kind of bands. So if you like that stuff, you're going to like them too. Give them a listen. They're pretty great. So those are my two picks for you, okay? Now let's get on with a small pile of stuff that I have for you. tried to like include a lot of different genres and just give you a taster of kind of what's new this week, okay? The first one here, this is their band. It's the at symbol, okay? It's called Mind Palace Music. It's on Car Park Records. And it's Philadelphia guitarist Victoria Rose and Baltimore producer musician Stone Philip Pichak. Hope I said that right. Anyway, they named their band at, a symbol that calls to mind the detachment of an email exchange or a Twitter mention. The folk pop duo created their debut album here almost entirely remotely, from sending each other recordings over iMessage from their respective cities throughout fall winter of 2020. And but although its creators were 100 miles away, the 11-track album gleams with a sense of closeness and tied together with At's penchant for deeply personal and candid lyrics. It's like ASMR folk for the people, and it's on olive-colored vinyl, and it comes with a digital download. Okay, next up we have Brother Tiger, and this is self-titled. It's on Satanic Panic Records. It is the self-titled fifth album, and it's the culmination of 2 years of singles featuring collaborations with Under Oath's Spencer Chamberlain and guitar virtuoso Yvette Young of Covet, blending 90s-inspired city pop with his original take on electronic music. Brother Tiger's new album defies genre. It harkens back to the sounds of his childhood, using a variety of rack-mounted synths from the 90s to build a bed of ethereal rhythms. Brother Tiger prefers the weird and wild over the tried and true for his self-titled magnum opus here. The first pressing is on limited edition tangerine vinyl, and it will tell you that on the sticker. Okay, this is pretty interesting. This is the Durruti column. It's Reissues, and it comes to us on Spittle Records. Now, they present a reissue here of Reissues. It was originally released in 1992 on this Italian label. I'll remember it in a minute. But anyway, this is the first ever reissue on vinyl, all right? So Reissues includes the 8 new recordings dated in early 1992, 5 unreleased tracks, and a new version of Win the World, and a more sophisticated rendition of For Madeline and for Zini. Vinnie Riley, this was Vinnie Riley's band, and he develops his musical journey using fascinating licks for guitar steeped in new age minimalism, soft eclectic folk, and ambient music, okay? So the album offers even the reissue of the mini album Greetings 3. And that's a very important goal for the band and the label that they started out on, which was Materiali Signori. That is Italian, and I don't know how much of that I'm actually butchering. But anyway, in fact, the 4 tracks included on this record, released in 1985, have been explicitly dedicated to Italy, Tuscany, and to new Italian friends. But anyway, you can finally get this on vinyl, first time reissued, so that's pretty cool. Now we have some Joe Ely reissues, I guess I'm going to say. These are all through MCA Nashville. The first one is Down on the Drag, and since his debut in the 1970s, Joe Ely has blended rock and roll sensibilities with hardcore honky-tonk, and he's become one of the most recognizable and respected artists from the Lone Star State. Ely's first 3 solo albums have been remastered and sourced from the original production masters. Now, this LP pressed on 180-gram vinyl with restored album jacket artwork. This is 1979's Down on the Drag. It features Fools Fall in Love and Standing at the Big Hotel. So 2 records into his career, Joe Ely was riding a creative high with his eclectic Southwest mix that stretches from Amarillo, Lubbock, and Austin, east to Louisiana. So that was an important record for him. Now, after that, or maybe this one was before that. Okay, anyway, this one is Honky Tonk Masquerade. also through MCA Nashville. Okay, this album is again pressed on the 180 gram restored album jacket. This, yeah, it was the year before, 1978's Honky Tonk Masquerade. It features that song, Honky Tonk Masquerade, and Boxcars. And as strong as Joe Ely's self-titled solo debut was, his second album, Honky Tonk Masquerade, actually managed to top it. And the album remains one of the great triumphs of Texas singer-songwriter community, that community of songwriters, as well as a high watermark in Ely's career. So displaying a very Texan sense of eclecticism, Honky Tonk Masquerade's 10 tunes, they run the gamut from, the beer-stained weepers, the late-night declarations of loneliness, to barrel house rock and roll, and honky-tonk dance numbers. So Ely's simple but very expressive delivery makes the most of every song he sings, and this album was a real way to showcase that. Then, of course, this is the one that they were talking about that had done so well previously. This was just self-titled. Okay, this is 1977. Self-titled album features the beloved She Only Spoke Spanish to Me and Tennessee's Not the State I'm In. And at a time when the outlaw movement was sweeping the country, music in the ways of like Waylon Jennings on RCA Victor and Willie Nelson on Columbia, it wasn't surprising that MCA, in search of its own representative of that style, signed Joe Ely. Now, Joe Ely was from Jerry Jeff Walker's band, and he was a 29-year-old. He had knocked around for a while, notably with being a member of Jimmy Dale Gilmore and the Flatlanders. So that album, he had a brief release on Plantation Records in 1972. So clearly, Ely had kept in touch with that band's other principles, since Jimmy Dale Gilmore's excellent composition, Treat Me Like a Saturday Night, is included here, along with 4 songs written by another Flatlanders alumnus, Butch Hancock. And actually, the songs Butch Hancock wrote were stronger than the tunes that Joe Ely had penned. So, maybe, I don't know, MCA Nashville should have signed him. I don't know. But anyway, 3 nice reissues there. Then we have another reissue of John Hyatt, Crossing Muddy Waters. And this is through New West Records. Now, John Hyatt's 16th effort. It's marked as a departure from his work of the previous 25 years and a vast improvement over 1997's very disappointing Little Head. Hyatt retrenched and recorded his first drummerless, predominantly acoustic record for Vanguard. And it's a sympathetic match and a smart move, since the company has a long, rich history working with the unplugged medium on these guys before it became trendy. And the result is the most natural and relaxed John Hyatt album in years, with just a duo of acoustic multi-instrumentalists, Davey Faragher and David Immergluck. Both are longtime associates of John Hyatt, and he pulls out some of the most earnest, down-to-earth songs of his career. I'm not sure the year this one came out. I want to say it was 2000. 2000? Okay. So not that old, but his 16th. All right, this, no, I can't say this. It is, okay, Koenjiaki. Naravum Revisited. This is on the label called Skin Graft Records. Now, the band's third album, Nevraim, came barreling into being in 2001 and was tweaked in 2009 with overdubs by the latest lineup. Now, a newly revisited Nevraim has been remixed, remastered, resequenced, and given the first ever vinyl version. So what emerges is a beast that bears the original release's blend of maniacal precision and brute force, but adds some new mojo all its own. For those with a taste for extremes, this. Special edition gatefold double LP. It's been, like I said, remixed, resequenced, remastered, also with 3 bonus tracks. It's a limited edition, random colored vinyl. The one that I had a look at was like the first disc one was sort of a opaque brown marbling, and the second disc was purple opaque marbling. So something like that it's going to be. And there you go. Okay, this is an interesting one. This is Chris Christopherson, live from Austin, Texas, and this also comes to us on New West Records. Now, I know that we've had a couple of these before, and they're super interesting. Chris Christopherson has a very unusual resume. He was born in Brownsville, Texas. He was a football star, and he was a Golden Gloves boxer in college. He was a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford, and an Army captain, a chopper pilot, a studio janitor, a part-time bartender, leading man opposite Barbra Streisand and Jane Fonda. But on his passport, under occupation, it reads songwriter, which I think is pretty charming. And it sums up the essence of Chris Christopherson. His songs have been recorded by at least 500 artists, from Willie and Johnny Cash to Janis Joplin and Ray Charles. But only that gravelly baritone of his can truly render those songs in a way they were meant to be heard from somewhere deep down in the heart of the man himself. So this performance from September of 1981 captures Chris in his prime. As he puts it at the time, the music's a little closer to the soul because I'm creating and controlling the whole show. Classics like Me and Bobby McGee, Loving Her Was Easier, Why Me, and Sunday Morning Coming Down take on a whole new meaning coming from the man who wrote the words. This is the show that almost wasn't. As he was about to introduce Chris, the guy, the producer from Austin City Limits, the studio went into total darkness, so apparently an errant rodent chewed through a major power line, and then the result was a blackout that lasted all night. The audience was let out by flashlight singing the ACL theme, and Chris hung out on the roof with the crew. Fortunately, he came back the next night, and the resulting magic is here for you to enjoy. And it is a double album, and it's on green and gray marbled vinyl. Okay, this is Lil Baby, It's Only Me, and it's on EMI import. This marks Lil Baby's first solo album since 2020's My Turn, which debuted at #1 and was certified 4 times platinum, logging 85 weeks in the top 10 of the top R&B hip-hop albums chart. So back in June of 2021, he teamed up with Lil Durk and for their joint album, The Voice of the Heroes. And so although Lil Baby hadn't dropped a full album since the Lil Durk collaboration. What is it about rappers? Everybody's Lil somebody or Big somebody. Isn't that funny? But anyway, The Voice of the Heroes, or a solo record since 2020's My Turn. He continued to shake up the hip-hop zeitgeist, and over the past 2 years, he's dropped show-stealing verses on Pop Smoke, Drake, and Nicki Minaj albums, as well, so chronicling his rise to fame in the Amazon Prime documentary Untrapped, the story of Lil Baby. So anyway, you can check that out, and here it is. This thing says it is his highly anticipated 3rd solo album. As far as I know, that's just on black vinyl. Okay, now this, Melanie Martinez, Crybaby. Now, God, I feel like they've reissued this 100 different ways. Now it's a double album. It is part of the Atlantic Records 75th anniversary, and so they gave this one the deluxe treatment, and it is her 2017 double platinum debut album, Crybaby. It has now been extended to a 2 LP set featuring the full-length album track listing. 3 songs, Playdate, Teddy Bear, and Cake, have been added to the album's original 13 tracks, while the enclosed booklet has expanded to 20 pages featuring new illustrations. Now, I have nothing against Melanie Martinez, but I just feel like this album's been reissued in so many different ways. First it was black vinyl, then it was pink vinyl, and then subsequently I feel like this has come around another 2 or 3 times, and here we go again. Now it's a double for the hardcore fan. Okay, now this is cool. This is Jackie McLean, Bluesnik. And this is on the Blue Note label. It's part of the Blue Note Classic series. Alto saxophonist Jackie McLean had the blues on his mind when he went to the Van Gelder studio in 1961 to record this hard-bop masterpiece. Bluesnik, and with this blazing quintet featuring Freddie Hubbard on the trumpet, Kenny Drew on piano, Doug Watkins on the bass, and Pete LaRocca on drums. So the 6-song set of bluesy originals brims with immediacy and vibrancy. Blue Note Classic Vinyl Series is an all-analog mastered by Kevin Gray from the original master tapes and pressed on 180-gram vinyl at Optimal. And I actually love that graphic on the cover. I just think that that's a very great looking album cover. Okay. Next up, let's see. Okay, this is Murkoff. And it is called Martis plus Utopia, and it's on the Leaf label. Murkoff's first 3 albums are reissued on vinyl to mark the 20th anniversary of the release of him being Fernando Corona, his seminal debut album Martis. And out of print for many years now, these albums have been hugely influential in the worlds of minimalism and ambient electronic music in their use of modern classical instrumentation and are significant landmarks in the history of the Leaf label. So each of these reissues is presented in a new gatefold sleeve featuring updated artwork. Okay, this one is, again, this one I believe was the debut. Martis. Okay, it's a limited edition triple white cloud vinyl. It includes all the original tracks from Martis, and Utopia is put on here too. Plus rarities from the era. It includes a download card with 7 additional remixes. So the other 2, I don't have them to show you at the moment, but just letting you know, long out of print, they're back and they're expanded and refreshed and all that good stuff. Okay, here again from Blue Note, Horace Parlan, Speak in My Piece, and this is again part of that Blue Note Classic series. So best known for his work with Charles Mingus, pianist Horace Parlan began recording for Blue Note in 1960 with an excellent run of hard bop classics, including Speak in My Piece. And this is a quintet date featuring a front line of Stanley Turrentine on saxophone and Tommy Turrentine on trumpet, with the rhythm team of George Tucker on bass and Al Harwood on drums. Okay, and again, this is part of that series that is mastered, all analog mastered by Kevin Gray from the original master tapes and pressed on 180-gram vinyl at Optimal. Okay. Okay, this band is called Pigs. So let's say Pigs times 7, okay? Land of Sleeper. This is on the Missing Piece Group label. This is the 4th full length from British rock band Pigs, times 7. It sees the return of drummer Ewan McKenzie, who was last seen on 2017's Feed the Rats. So with Land of Sleeper, they've managed to sharpen their uncompromising combo of Sabbath-esque riffs and experimental leanings into the most easily digestible and perhaps their best album yet. This is on this gorgeous translucent aqua sea glass vinyl, and it includes a lyric sheet too. Looks very not exactly Roger Dean kind of artwork, but you know, that real 70s looking artwork there too. Sorry, there goes the clock again. Should we wait for it or just keep going? I'm not sure. Okay. Quavo Takeoff, only built for Infinity Links. Double LP on Quality Control Music, LLC, one of the top #1 rap albums in 2022. The vinyl comes with an impressive slate of feature artists, including Mustard, Young Boy, Never Broke, Again, Young Thug, Gunna, Summer Walker, Birdman, and Gucci Mane, with iconic production from DJ Durrell, Murda Beats, Buddha Beats, Money Music, and more. So it features the hit single Hotel Lobby, though it isn't anything mind-blowing or cutting edge. There are some real bangers on here with excellent trap beats and fire verses from Takeoff and Huncho. But the inconsistency and the occasional filler kind of bumps down the rating a little, but it is a double, and it's that's here for you. Okay, this is Daniel Romano, and he's a Canadian musician, poet, visual artist based out of his hometown in Welland, Ontario. So in 2020, this guy just released, he was like the King Gizzard of 2020. He just released an album seemed like every week. I don't know what he was doing. It must have been some lockdown, quarantine, pandemic thing that he was just, doing stuff because he had the time. Anyway, this is his seventh album of 2020. Yeah, the seventh. And Dandelion was recorded by Romano alone in a room for a week with a bunch of stuff. It's another musical throwback to a beloved era of music. And this time it was 60s psych that he was going for on this one. Okay, and here's another one. This one was his fifth album of 2020. And okay, so it was since the dawn of the age of COVID, it splices the jazz instrumental virtuosity of 70s genre bosses like King Crimson and Nectar with spacey rock oddity of Kevin Ayers reinforced by the collaborative support from Tool's Danny Carey on here. So, that's kind of interesting as well. Very productive 2020 he had. But anyway, those two are here for you now as reissues. This one is Anna B. Savage in Flux on City Slang. Now, I know it looks like I'm holding that upside down, but I am not. That's the way that it goes. She teamed up with Mercury Award-winning producer Mike Lindsay for her second album here, In Flux. And it's a powerful, elating album exploring the complexities and variables of humanity, love, loss, and earthly connection. It's on the exclusive orange vinyl, limited to 1,400 units worldwide for the first pressing. Okay, this is Snotty Nose Res Kids. I'm good, HBU. How about you? It's on the Fontana North Distorted Muse label. So SNRK's previous album, Life After, was a collection of music the band wrote during darker times, during the pandemic. The songs on this new album are a reflection of the transitional era of getting back on track and expressing their confidence in themselves and in their futures. They're honing in on their sound, exploring new cadences and flows, working with new producers and some familiar faces, and bringing in new artists to feature, like Dylan Ponders. Anyway, this is on translucent blue vinyl, and that one's here for you now. It's kind of nice at least to have somebody finally trying to cheer up a little bit instead of just riding the bummer all the time, right? This is music on vinyl, and it is a reissue of the Sopwith Camel Miraculous Hump Returns from the Moon. Okay, and this is limited edition of 750 that they pressed this time. And they're all individually numbered copies on white-colored 180-gram audiophile vinyl. The American psychedelic rock band Sopwith Camel formed in late 1965. The band only released 2 studio albums, their self-titled debut album and the follow-up, The Miraculous Hump Returns from the Moon in 1973. It features the popular tracks Phase On, Orange Peel, and Coke Suede in Waterbeds. And as I said, 750. This one here is number 410. Can you guys even see that? 410. Okay. All right, this is the gaming soundtrack for all you gamers out there. This is Cody Matthew Johnson and Jeff Rona. Johnson and Jeff Rona. Quantar Original Game Soundtrack. This is through Decca US. Quantar is believed to be the very origin of the multiverse, so once the player has taken on the role of an observer, they can summon heroes from the universe to compete in the most thrilling and merciless combat event history has ever known. The observer needs to master the hero's abilities, level up their rank, and reveal the secret of the multiverse. So whatever the hell that means, this is for, those who understand the game, I guess. It's an odd release. This is the Pretty Reckless Other Worlds. It's on Fearless Records. Pretty Reckless gives rock and roll jumpstart it needs for a new generation, apparent on this new collection of songs featuring remixes, reimagined versions, and covers of their favorite tracks. It's on bone-colored vinyl. It does tell you that on the sticker. And yeah, there you go. It's got things on it, their favorite tracks. So things like, well, I know this one, What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding is on here. Oh gosh, I don't know. Some of this, I guess you're going to have to dig to find out who the original artists were, but that's here for you now too. All right, Total Refreshment Center. This is called Transmissions from Total Refreshment Center. Now, this is on Blue Note. Another kind of cool cover there too. This is the extended family around London's Total Refreshment Center, well, TRC. They connect continents and generations, creating a rich relationship on Transmissions from Total Refreshment Center. It's an eclectic and electric collection drawing on new school jazz, hip hop, dub, soul, funk, and drill. Top players from London, Chicago, and Melbourne seeking out new collaborations, new ways of working, or just new tunes. Always coming back to the central truth that we all need each other. This is on 180 gram LP. I think that is just like such a cool idea for a collective, and really interesting record. Okay, then this is various artists. It is called Jazz in Brazil. It's on the Honey Pie record label, and this is a fruitful relationship between Brazilian music and American jazz took shape between the mid-50s and the 60s, and turned out to be one of the most prolific meetings in the history of popular music. The two cultures that are still resonating today as a timeless combination of elements. Now, if you feel like getting through the unique flavor of such musical marriage, this compilation might be the right place for you to start. This is a great selection of Brazilian flavored jazz tunes performed by top Brazilian artists. And, well, let's see, like Sergio Mendes, Bola Sete, Baden Powell, and Tambia Trio, including classic standards such as Gershwin's I Got Rhythm, Cole Porter's Love for Sale, and Horace Silver's Nika's Dream. Also features Dick Farney, Brazilian Jazz Quartet, Ruben Basilini, all these other people. Okay, well anyway, like I said, you want to get your feet wet in this. This is probably a good place to start. Okay guys, so that is just like a little taster for you of some of the new releases, reissues, and represses that came out today. Hope you found something interesting to check out, and if you're local, you can come in here every day of the week from 10 till 4. We are open. And yeah, so let me know if there's anything that sounded cool to you. And post a list down below. It'll be a more full list, I think, probably with stuff on here that we didn't talk about, but we're trying to keep it moving these days, okay? So have a great weekend. Hope you all had a nice, happy Valentine's Day, whether you know, together or by yourself, doesn't matter. Hope you had a good love day. See you next time. Bye.